Hey everyone and welcome back. If you have been here for a while, then you know that it's not my first time talking about Hot Wheels Fast and Furious. Over the years I have released 11 videos about Hot Wheels Fast and Furious. 10 of them are specifically linked to parts of the franchise like the movies or the animated series that was released in Netflix for a while. I unbox the cars, I show you where they appear on the screen, and then I show you how I add them to this special little space or shelf that I created for my Fast and Furious collection. The last video went up around October 2024, and since then a lot has happened. Hot Wheels released a lot of new Fast and Furious models at the end of 2024 and of course throughout the 2025, so today it's time for a full collection update. The update is going to be split in two parts. The first part, is going to cover the first movies, or the new cars that I got from the first movies. I'm going to unbox 10 cars and I have 2 honorable mentions. 2 cars that I previously owned, but there's something that I still needed to clarify, or that I think that I still need to clarify. At the end, we'll revisit my original wish list included in those early videos, and we'll see which models I have, which models I'm still missing, and realistically, which models might be coming next. Let's start with the Fast and the Furious. As an introduction, I can tell you that this is the first car that we ever see in the Fast and Furious franchise. The first scene of the Fast and Furious franchise starts with the trio of these cars. This is the 1993 Honda Civic Coupe or Coupe EX-EJ1. Let me open this one. This is the 5th generation Civic. It was released with 3 different body style versions. The first one was the classical hatchback, the other one was a 4-door sedan, and this is the 2-door coupe or coupe version, depends on how do you want to call it. And as I was saying, this is the first car that we ever see, because this is the 3 cars that we see going around the big trailer in the opening scene of the Fast and the Furious. And I have been chasing this car, I have been hoping that Hot Wheels would release this car for years, and finally it is here. It's probably one of my favorite Civics, and the detail that Hot Wheels is adding to this is really nice. You see the Honda logo in the back, this wing that it's a plastic separate piece. You have details in the taillights, a separate well, it's not a separate exhaust pipe, it's actually part of the base. You have this, I think, the 10-spoke gray wheels, completely jet black livery. In the inside you have really nice details. You probably cannot see it because of the light, but you have actually a really nice interior, considering this is just a premium model, not a super premium. In the front as well, you have the space for the plate, really nice decals for the taillights, and all the aero details of these custom Civics that we see the family driving. This, it's kind of a check mark already for finally having the black Civic of the Fast and the Furious. I don't know if somebody was requesting or wanting this model from the first movie, but I'm pretty sure that the Civic lovers will be super happy. This is the Honda Civic EG, and I will tell you in a moment where we can see it in the movie. Just let me open it. Talking about Civics, something that I forgot to mention about this Civic. This is a first edition released in 2025 by Hot Wheels, and this is another first edition also released in 2025, this time in the silver line. For being a silver line, you have actually a metal base with a metal body, little smaller wheels than usual, and this is the car that Hector drives. You see it, I think, that without the hood, if one in the first kind of a street race scene, and he has this fluorescent green Civic there, that it's his baby. He's more like thinking to do it in the traditional racing circuits more than in a street, and it's a really beautiful clean release. At this moment, remember, Fast and Furious was still focusing in tuner street culture, so you will see all these Japanese modified cars with aero body details, and this one, it's actually a really beautiful clean release of Hector's Civic. To close with the models, the new models that I got from the Fast and the Furious, we are going to work with also a new casting from 2025, the 1996 Acura Integra GSR, released in the Silver series or the Silver line. This is Edwin's custom Integra. If you don't remember Edwin, let me refresh your memory. Yes, so this is one of the guys that runs again Dominic and Brian. Brian is driving the green Eclipse, Dominic is driving his only JDM known in the franchise, I think, that it's the Dell-side red RX-7, and Edwin is driving this custom Integra with all these graphic details, very 90s. You have the Michelin logo here, small wheels in white, same size wheels, that it's kind of a new trend that Hot Wheels it's following, because if you remember, the older Hot Wheels releases have the bigger wheel in the back, but lately they have been releasing these same size wheels that actually for me they look a lot more accurate, proportionally accurate. You have the steering wheel on the left and all the details from the custom Integra. This grill, it's amazing, it's awesome. It's part of the casting, but it's painted separately, which makes it look like it's kind of a separate piece. Also, the shootouts here in the front, I think that I was going to say that if the headlights are part of the interior, but no, because the headlights are gray and the interior is black. But I believe that there should be kind of a middle piece somewhere here for the headlights, because they look different. You have the Honda logo in the front, the number 12, and here it actually says Hot Wheels. I don't know, I haven't seen in the movie if there's any other brand here above the number. Interior also, it's nicely done. Back wing is part of the casting, it's a metal wing. You have the details of the taillights, the Acura logo on the back, Acura. You can read Acura here maybe, I'm not sure, it's really small. And you have the plate here, the Momo, that I assume that it's because of Monica, that at the end is not really happy with what happens with her friend Edwin. This is the custom Integra, and we move to Too Fast, Too Furious. Guys, focus on my hand here, because this is what we have from Too Fast, Too Furious. A big fat zero, nada, nothing. Again, I believe that the Too Fast, Too Furious is the movie that has the least releases from the whole franchise. I don't have that many cars, I don't remember the exact number from the Too Fast, Too Furious, but I have like 4 cars, and they have not been releasing a lot of them. We will talk about more about the releases that I'm missing in the wish list, but for now, Too Fast, Too Furious still very little representation in the whole Hot Wheels releases. So let's move to the Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift. Let's start Tokyo Drift with this really beautiful release. This is the 2003 Dodge Viper SRT10. Let me open it for you. This is a completely new Viper casting, and it's executed beautifully. You have all the stances, I would say, pretty correctly made. This clean red livery just with the Viper logo here on the side. On the back you have really nice details, really nice decals on the taillights, and in the front you also have impeccable headlights and the fog lights with the classic badge here, and also the Dodge grille. It's a convertible model, of course, so also the interior is really nicely made. This is the car that Clay is driving. Clay is this character played by the Home Improvement kid, you remember him? He's driving this car in the high school. It's the first race that we see in Tokyo Drift. He's racing this beautiful Viper against the 17 Monte Carlo that Sean has, and at the end this Viper ends up completely destroyed. This was in my wish list, and now you can check it out because it has been finally released in 2025. As I told you during the intro, we had 10 unboxings and 2 honorable mentions, and this one is one of the honorable mentions. This is the Porsche 911 Carrera RS 3.8. It was released, I believe, that in 2024, if I remember correctly. We had unboxed it before. We unboxed it in the Tokyo Drift dedicated video, and why am I bringing here again is because when I unboxed this one, I knew that it was part of the Tokyo Drift series or Tokyo Drift movie releases, but I had no idea where to see it or where to find it in the movie. I finally know It's in the elevator scene when Twinkie and Sean are waiting for Twinkie's car, when they are going to start like going to the drifting, or the first drifting, and the first car that we see coming out in the elevator is this Porsche. And this is the scene, and I just brought it back to kind of clean that up. So the Porsche 911 that appears in Tokyo Drift. Third model from Tokyo Drift, this is also a background car. This is the Toyota Chaser JZX100. Let me open it for you. This is also a new casting released for the first time now in 2025. This is loosely based on the Elite 64 Toyota Chaser that Hot Wheels released also in 2025. Of course, the Elite 64 model had a lot more things going into it. This is just a normal premium release. That's why we consider it kind of a completely new model. It's, I would say, pretty nicely made, nicely executed. You have really nice decals on the back of taillights, the Toyota logo. You can see here the exhaust pipe. It has a really nice yellow color in the front. It looks pretty nice in general. From the decals, the headlights look, they just look really well made. I have just one complaint in the let's say in the front, and it's, I don't know if you can see it, but this is a yellow car and they are trying to put some, like the bumper should be black, right? Should be a separate piece, but in the like casting you cannot make a separate piece of the bumper. What happens is that when they are trying to paint the front bumper in black, the insides, I don't know if you will be able to see it here in the screen, stays yellow. I don't know if there's a fail in the painting, or yeah, I don't know exactly what happened there, but you can see that it was first yellow and then they kind of overpainted the bumper, and it stays like a yellow part inside of this shootout of the car. Outside that, the rest looks really good. This right-hand drive has really nice details. Where does this one appears? Well, after that Sean fights or challenges DK to the first race in the drifting parking lot or something like that, they go to an elevator with Twinkie. When they open the elevator doors, you see two cars drifting in front of that. One of those two cars is the Toyota Chaser. So you can see it for what, maybe like 3 seconds. And well, again, we could disagree with some of the releases of Hot Wheels. The car is not ugly, it's a nice, probably you will get it if it was released in other series, but they released it in Fast and Furious related to that specific Chaser from the movie. I'm assuming that you remember this version or this release. It came for this is a first edition. It came in 2023 in this kind of silver Fast and Furious line. It was at that moment was not a silver series, was kind of the basic Fast and Furious line, but it was a first edition they released. This is the Lancer Evo 9 that Hans gives to Sean once he started working with him, and as I said, this was a first edition, plastic base, metal body. Why am I bringing this up, you will ask? Well, because in 2025 they made it premium. So let's open this guy. This is the Lancer Evolution 9 that Sean is driving basically kind of from half of the movie onwards all the time. It's not destroyed or anything. It's actually, I didn't like the car the first time that I saw it in the movies, and with time, I mean, it's an Evo 9, right? The car is amazing, and this time it's an upgrade. And when you bring the old one, let's say, you can see that, for example, this one has red, when the premium one has already the black paint there. In front you have really similar details in the hood and also similar details in the front, but there's a lot more happening in the premium version. Like, for example, you have this black part in the bumper that doesn't exist in this car. You have the sponsors here like wraps and Toyo tires. Now that I'm getting close, in these sponsors doesn't exist here. And most importantly, this car has, oh sorry, it fell, it has the plastic base, and this part, this black part, is a plastic lip, if you can see it here. Such plastic lip doesn't exist in the premium version because this is a metal base, but it ends up here, which doesn't happen with this one, as you can see here. So there's a slight modification in the chassis to make it, of course, fit the premium line. On the sides, graphics seems pretty similar. I don't see that there's a lot of difference going on between the two. the two models. I can make kind of a close-up here, but no, they seem pretty like the same. Of course, the wheels here are completely different. These are premium wheels, 5-spoke premium wheels. Top also not different, a big difference, and in the back you have probably just the detail of the black wing. The rest of the details, the headlights, taillights, sorry, and the Mitsubishi logo are pretty similar. So these, of course, I'm focusing more on getting the premium versions of the Fast and Furious castings. I'm only getting the silver ones when there's no premium release, and of course also getting the basic one when there's no premium release. So this one will kind of be downgraded, I would say. I will put this one on the collection, on the shelf, and this one I will move it to another part of my room because I don't want to get rid of it. It was a first edition, so I kind of like the first editions, but this one will be the one that we are going to put in the exhibition in the full Fast and Furious shelf. We start with the Ford movie, Fast and Furious. You can see it here on the back, and we have only 2 new additions to the Fast and Furious. One premium, that is this Rambo Lambo, and another Silver Series release that I'm going to show you in a moment. Let's just open this Lamborghini LM002. Talking about Fast and Furious, probably the Rambo Lambo in deep black is one of the last releases that you would expect from them, but I mean, it's a first edition, so we have been talking that sometimes they release these unexpected castings in Fast and Furious. I don't know, maybe the budget of the line is really good, so then they can go wild with some of the designs that they are creating. The Rambo Lambo is seen in the Ford movie for a split second when they already know who Braga is and they are trying to catch him. He's, I think, not going to Mexico. He's driving around in this huge black Lamborghini LM002, and I mean, Hot Wheels just did an amazing job with this one. Like, forget about the relation with the Fast and Furious. This thing looks awesome, like incredibly well made. The wheels, like they are putting it, of course the metal base, but you can see like how they are lifting it up. The details in front. Remember that these ones originally to be gone to the military. When the military didn't want it, like this kind of Hummer version, then Lamborghini make it theirs and they release it in their normal offer to the customers, and this black version looks awesome. You have the details in the back, also with the taillights. This wheel on the back is a plastic wheel, not a rubber wheel like these ones, but it even has the same design as the wheel from the Rambo Lambo. It just looks pretty beautiful, stealthy, really well proportioned. It's an incredibly well executed casting. So again, it doesn't matter if you're happy that they released it in Fast and Furious or not. It's an amazing card, a first edition, and I'm really glad that Hot Wheels is releasing this. And the Rambo Lambo was not in my wish list, this Camaro was. This is the 1973 Chevy Camaro known as the F-Bomb. It's released in the silver line. It's one of the villain cars, and let me open it for you. This is also a first edition from 2025. It's a modified Camaro. It's known as the F-Bomb because here I actually cannot see it. I was hoping that it was going to be there in the like hidden side of the car, but in the movie you can see an F-Bomb decal here on the side. This is driven by someone, I don't remember exactly the name. I don't think that it was Griffin. The bad guy Griffin was driving this for Torino, and I don't know if later he needs to change to this one, but what I'm absolutely sure is that almost at the end of the movie, when Griffin is about to kill Brian, Dom is driving this Camaro F-Bomb. He comes out of the mines or these tunnels and he basically kills Griffin with the Camaro F-Bomb, and of course destroys the Camaro. But this is a really well execution. As you can see, it's slammed down the car and it has this additional bumpers from the Camaro. It's a completely modified casting. In the back you see that it's a slimmer, like the axle of the wheel, so it's kind of a bit like a drag racer. Also like the stance here, so it's assuming that the F-Bomb is modified for a really fast reaction on the track. And of course then you have this kind of elongated tail with this little duck tail here, and the green color makes it look incredibly awesome. First edition in my original wish list, and it looks awesome. We are reaching the end of the video because we are going to talk about the last movie that we are going to show today. This is Fast 5, and this is my second honorable mention. This is the Corvette Grand Sport Roadster. Why am I bringing this up? I have this car already for a while. It was released for the first time in 2015. At that time, I think that it was the beginning when Hot Wheels was starting to release Fast and Furious casting. They started with the Supra and the Dodge Charger in the basic line, and then they slowly moved to a separate basic line from Fast and Furious. This version of the Corvette Roadster was released in the Mainline in 2015 with a blue racing color, and the secondary color, let's say, it was this silver one. That is the one that we see in the Fast and Furious movie, is the one that Dom and Brian used to escape the train scene when they are kind of still in the cars. Of course, then this car jumps from to the river, like from the side of the rail to the river, and it's completely total. Why am I bringing this up? I mentioned this car in the video that we discussed Fast 5. I have it in my collection since 2015, but I had it in Mexico. I didn't have it with me, so I kind of mentioned it. I said that I had it, and this time I'm showing it to you. This is the beautiful Grand Sport Roadster that they are driving. It's just an amazing car. First edition, again, modified with, considering that this is a basic, a mainline, and it has also the plate numbers, the painted taillights, and the details, the shootout here in this part of the casting is just an amazing release from Hot Wheels, and it fits perfectly with the Fast and Furious releases. Another check in the wish list. This is the Nissan 370C. Let me open it for you. This is not the first edition. The first edition of this casting was released in the Mainline in 2010 in a yellow, very Nissan C livery vibe. And then in 2019, it used this livery, the livery from the Fast 5 movie. But it was released in the Fast and Furious basic line at that moment. And this is the car that Giselle is driving when they are testing the speed that they can drive for, like, to not be catched by the cameras in the police station. And again, it's not a hugely important car, but it was released before. It's a really nice Z edition from Hot Wheels, and this time with the premium treatment, also with the metal base and the real riders wheels, 10-spoke rims, and this silver black livery, details in the front with the Nissan logo and the decals of the headlights, taillights, Nissan logo, white body. In general, it's a really beautiful release from the premium line. I mean, I will not mind if they release this one in the silver one to make it a little bit more accessible, but still, I mean, they release it here. It's a beautiful one. I was missing it, and it's here. And to end up with the full video, this is the car number 12 that I'm going to show you, and this is a huge win from my original wishlist, because when I was creating the wishlist from the Fast 5 movie in 2024, I will have exchanged all my wishlist to get this model. I really wanted Hot Wheels to release this, and they finally did. This is the Koenigsegg CCXR. Let me open it for you. This thing, it's incredibly beautifully well made. If you want to see where the Koenigsegg CCXR appears, is at the end of the movie when they already have all the money and they are kind of wrapping up the story, and Roman appears in the Tech's garage telling him that he got the only Koenigsegg CCXR in the West Hemisphere, and then Tech tells him that it's one of the two because he also has the same. So this is the Koenigsegg CCXR, and it was so difficult to get this car at the time, because I believe that it was the Koenigseggs were only being released in Europe, so getting one in the US was completely out of the question. It was really expensive to have one. That's why they are referring. Hot Wheels, this is the first edition, right? Released in 2025. Hot Wheels released a Koenigsegg before. The Koenigsegg Agera, this is not a first edition. I think that the first edition was in red. I don't remember the year. This was from the Boulevard in white. I like it a lot more. And well, the designs are pretty similar from the both cars, but what is the big difference for me is the wheels. What I was talking to you about, the trend of having the same size wheels. When you see the Koenigsegg CC XR, you see that the two wheels are the same size, and it makes the car look a lot more grounded. The stance looks better, with the difference of the Agera, that the Agera has a bigger back wheel, which makes that this part of the car, this part of the protection of the wheel cover, is a lot slimmer, which looks not, let's say, properly when compared with the real car. And this one, I believe that it does a lot better to the view of the Koenigsegg. So this is a first edition. Amazing details as well. You have the Koenigsegg logo, you have the headlights here, you have side mirrors. That is something that sometimes is really complicated to get in the cars. The CC XR logo here on the side, 10-spoke chrome wheels in the back, all the details as well with the nameplate and these kind of grille details and the perfectly shaped wing. Separate piece, this one is in plastic, not in metal, and just the car looks awesome. First edition, as you can see, several first edition this year, that's from the ones that I got, so I didn't get that many old releases, at least not from the first 5 movies. So then now let's just move or how I'm going to put them in the shelf. Okay, so this is a difficult part because I don't have professional lights, so this is the best I could do with the desk lamp to have a more clarity, not so dark, of what I'm going to show you, how the shelves of the Fast and Furious collection are looking now. And I usually order my models in the order of how they appear in the movie, and of course the first one is the black Civic. This is the first one that we see. Then we move to the Eclipse, then we move to the Ford Lightning, and then we start seeing the cars from the family. Here, in the moment when they are in the first race, we can see the Hector's Honda Civic. Then we move to the Bellside RX-7 from Dominic, and here is when we see about the race, the Integra, right? Then to continue with the first movie, we see the S2000 that it participates in the race wars. Then of course the Dodge Charger, Mia's Integra, the Supra of course, and then we have seen this one as well in the race wars, if I'm not wrong, the HKS RX-7, and then this one we see it at the end in an extra scene after the credits. This is the Chevelle. And then we move to the Too Fast, Too Furious. I have only 4 cars. The RX-7 from the first race, of course the Skyline, the classic Skyline from Brian, and then I have the Django Camaro and the Challenger. These two are just kind of with the paint scheme of the movie, but they are not the actual cars, and that's it. I have nothing else from Too Fast, Too Furious. As I have said repeatedly, there's not a huge representation of the Too Fast, Too Furious franchise in the Hot Wheels releases. So we move to the Tokyo Drift, and the first car that I'm going to put here is the Viper, because it's one of the first ones that we see, this one and the 70 Monte Carlo. Then, as I know now where it belongs, I'm putting the Porsche 911 here because it's also one of the first ones that we see when we are in Tokyo. The solder appears when they are already kind of in the drift garage. Also, this is the RX-8 from the girl that I forgot her name. And then when they go into the elevator, of course, we see the Toyota Chaser. Then we see also this 180 SX in blue. Here it's the Mona Lisa. Here is DK's car that is going to race, of course, against the Mona Lisa when Sean is driving. And here is where we are going to make an exchange. This is the silver line. We are going to add here the premium. This is the Evo 9 Premium, and that's how we finish with the Tokyo Drift. After we see the Toyota AE86 in one of the drift scenes, and of course this is the Mercedes 500 SEL that Sean, I think that it was Sean, yeah, Sean uses to kind of kill Han, if you remember in that part of the movie. Then we move to Fast and Furious. This is the Buick GNX, the Grand National. Then we have this RS2000 that we see after the party. This is the one that Dom is driving when they are still in the gas, if you remember. This one we see it for a little moment in the party. Afterwards, this Honda Civic EF, we see it for a little moment in Letty's funeral. This is the car that Griffin is driving. I think that it was Griffin, the name of the guy. This is the car that Ken Park is driving, so we basically don't see it in the movie at all, just Park once. Then this guy is Dwayne, I think that is the driver. It appears also the Camaro for a little while. The Chevelle that Dom is using. When Dom is using this gray Chevelle, it's of course racing against the blue Skyline that it's also one of the fan favorites. Is racing against this Silvia. And after that, well, we jump a lot of things in the movie, and we have the Rambo Lambo here. And after that, basically almost at the end of the movie, we have the Camaro F Bomb. We end up with these two because these two appear in the persecution, basically when Brian, Mia, and the brothers Tego Calderon and Don Omar are going to save Dom from the police, right? These two appear at the end of the movie, also with the 70 Dodge Charger as well. Then we start with Fast 5. The first one that we see is the Skyline, the black Skyline that Brian is driving in Brazil. Then when they are stealing the cars from the train, this is the Tommaso Pantera. Here is the Ford GT40, and we have the Corvette Grand Sport Roadster that I'm going to put here. We continue with the black Supra, that this one appears. I think that this one is one of the ones that they are testing to like the speed, if I don't remember correctly. This Chevelle and this Porsche 911 are some of the cars that appear in the racing scene, the street racing scene when they are in Rio. And here we add one of the cars that they are testing also. It's the one that Giselle is driving. And just at the end of the movie, we add the Koenigsegg. And then we have also at the end of the movie, the closing scenes, it's the Nissan GTR that Brian is driving. So until here, basically we have Fast 5 because this is Fast and Furious 6, and this is how we are going to continue in the next video. Now let's talk about Wishlist, the original wishlist that I have when I was recording those videos. Let's start with the Fast and the Furious. The first car is Vince Nissan Maxima. Still missing because I want the premium version, but in 2026 there's a Silver Series version coming, so kind of basic with plastic wheels, not with the real riders. Number 2, Black Civic. Second movie, Too Fast, Too Furious. 5 cars on the wish list. Suki's S2000 in pink, premium version still missing. Brian's Evo 7 in yellow. It has been released only in these basic lines that existed before the Silver Series. That one I still don't have, but this year in the graphic remix Silver Series, they are releasing one, but of course it has the inverted colors, so it doesn't count. Then we have the Roman Eclipse, the convertible Eclipse or the Spider Eclipse, non-existent. And we really need two accurate versions of the Challenger and also the Genko Camaro. Good news, 2026 mixed 3 of Fast and Furious premium line is bringing us the Challenger. Tokyo Drift. 5 cars are still missing, but 3 of them confirmed for the Silver Series. Let's start with the 3 that are already confirmed. Sean's Mustang, still missing, but coming in the Dream lineup in 2026 in the Silver Series. Sean's 70 Monte Carlo and Dom's 70 Plymouth Roadrunner. If you don't remember which Plymouth Roadrunner I'm talking about, is the one that appears in the last scene of the movie when Toretto appears to talk with Sean and he's driving this 70 Plymouth Roadrunner. So these 2 models are being released in the Tokyo Drift Silver Series this year. Then 2 big ones missing, it's always the Hans RX-7 Velside and the Sean's Nissan S15 Silvia that we see running against Toretto at the end of the movie. The Silvia, it's probable that it will come at some point. The Velside one, because of the Velside license, might be a bit difficult. Fast and Furious, the Ford movie, the Camaro F-Bomb. Then the Blue Skyline, the black and gray Subaru WRX, and the white Cayman that Giselle is driving. All of these 3 are still missing in my collection. Fast 5, the last one to check the wishlist for today and the longest one. Giselle's 370Z, check. The Koenigsegg, check. And then comes the full list of cars that I don't have, but mainly because they are not released yet. Dome's Challenger SRT8, released for the last time in 2014 in the Entertainment series. This one I'm still missing and they haven't re-released it again. Hobbs Gurkha LAPV, non-existent. Dome's Charger without the blown-up engine, non-existent. Patch 4 Galaxy 500 XL, non-existent. 2011 Dodge Charger PPV, that means Police Pursuit Vehicle, non-existent. A movie-accurate version of the 2010 black Dodge Charger SRT8 that Brian and Tom are using to move around this huge bolt, you know. It has been released before, this kind of inspired version, but it's just 2011 Dodge Charger with the black matte paint, but this structure that it has in the back, it was not included, so it's not a really accurate version, so the accurate version. Finally, Hans Black Lexus LFA, non-existent. But at the end of 2025, in the car culture series Timeless Icons, Hot Wheels released a new casting, the Lexus LFA in white, so maybe it's just a matter of time before the black Lexus comes to the Fast and Furious line. And this is where we are going to stop today, because we already shared a lot of information, right? This was my part 1 of my Fast and Furious collection update, covering the first 5 movies, everything that I added to my collection from the late 2024 and the whole 2025. In part 2 we are going to cover the rest of the franchise, from Fast and Furious 6 all the way to Fast X, and trust me, there's some big surprises there as well. If you've been following the series from the beginning, thank you. But if you're new, welcome. You pick a great time to jump in. Now tell me in the comments which one is your favorite models from the ones that I just showed you, and is there any important car missing in my wish list? My name is JR, thanks for being here and see you next time. Adios.